Hello, everyone, and welcome to an episode of the BT Show. I'm here to do my most anticipated movies of 2025. I think 2025 will be a much better movie than 2020, a much better movie year than 2024. I'm hoping so anyway. I think this past year was a little bit of a dud. But with that being said, here are my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2025. Coming in at number 10, we have the F1 movie starring Brad Pitt and Damson Idris, who most people know from Snowfall. This movie, I think, is going super under the radar. It comes out in June. The shots from the movie are supposed to be very reminiscent from the shots of Top Gun Maverick, and I think it's really, really cool. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of F1. I think the entire culture around it, since it's become popular, is really douchey. It's really elitist. I think the sport itself is really cool, but to be honest, it's just not accessible to the general public unless you're really rich. And as much as we complain about, baseball and team sports and how expensive it is to go to that, and even to like WWE and UFC, F1 has gone even more off the rails. With that being said, the movie still looks really, really cool. I think this will be a bit of a breakout performance for Damson Idris, who I think will eventually find his way into the MCU, possibly as the Black Panther. That's a discussion for another video. But this movie looks really cool, like I said, and I'm just really surprised that it's not getting more hype. Even though it's 6 months away, I think that'll go by pretty quick, and I think this will be... I don't think it'll win awards or anything, but I think like Top Gun Maverick, it'll be like one of the more entertaining movies of 2025. Coming in at number 9, The Smashing Machine, a UFC/MMA movie starring The Rock, made by the Safdie brothers, and very, very reminiscent of Adam Sandler with the Safdie brothers in Uncut Gems. We're finally getting a Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, as I call him, performance that's more serious. This is a movie that he probably should have made 10 years ago when he was in even better shape. I still think, luckily, he's in good enough shape to make it. But, yeah, I think this is going to be a really good movie. Like I said about F1, going really under the radar. The Rock finally... I don't know if it's just because he's heard what people said about Batista and John Cena, but he's finally doing a movie that's a little bit more serious. I really hope he nails this role. As he gets a little bit older and he can't rely on his muscles as much, he's going to have to rely on his acting more. So I think it's important for him to get this experience now. He doesn't really have to do anything in terms of work. He's already made God knows how much money, probably close to $1 billion, but... I think this is just an important movie for The Rock. I'm super excited for it. Also, as just a UFC fan, there haven't been that many UFC movies. There's been a lot more boxing movies, so it's just another movie I'm super excited for, and it finishes at number 9. Number 8, Mickey 17, starring Robert Pattinson, I Were Batman. The director who made Parasite from South Korea, Bong Joon-ho. I believe this is his first movie since Parasite. I could be mistaken, but it seems like a really, really cool sci-fi movie. Not too serious, a little bit wonky, a little bit goofy, but overall, a director that's been really, really successful. Anytime you're coming off an Academy Award win, your next movie is going to be a big deal. And he has an actor like Pattinson who seems to just be cranking out really, really good movies. I want to say under the radar. It sounds weird to say that because he's literally Batman, but it just seems like all of his non-Batman movies since Twilight are just these really solid under the radar movies. So yeah, I think this movie will get a lot more attention than Parasite, since this will be in English. Even with subtitles, I don't think Parasite has fully made it mainstream in the United States, like a Squid Games has. I mean, at number 7, Captain America 4. Now, honestly, this movie probably at one time would have been closer to number 1, and at other times would have been out of the top 10. But I think 7 is a fair place for it. I'm still really excited for this movie. At this point, I'm excited for the potential. I'm also kind of excited to see if this movie is just a complete abomination, not to use a Hulk pun. I'm excited to get, even just the scenes we've gotten in the trailer seem good. I'm excited to see Harrison Ford. So, even with all of the negativity, I still have hope for this movie. It reminds me a lot of Rogue One. People forget how much negativity there was into Rogue One, how much reshoots there was. It was a little bit earlier on in the Twitter era, so I don't think it really caught on as much as this. But I still think this movie could be good. I'm just excited to see what the final cut is. There's been so much talk about it. but yeah, seeing Red Hulk, seeing Anthony Mackie, I think it'll be good. Maybe we'll get some characters that we aren't expecting. We're getting the leader, so regardless of all the drama, I'm really excited, good or bad, to see what the final cut of this is. Coming in at number 6, Sinners, the vampire movie directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld. I think this movie is going to be really good. I really, really like vampire movies. I think this vampire movie, a more modern vampire movie, I like way more than the Nosferatu type vampire movie that we just got. And what I really like about this trailer, well, first, I like that Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan are kind of like one of the best director-actor combos that we have going right now. But on top of that, we haven't seen the vampires yet, right? I think that's what I really like about the trailers. It's like a key horror movie. A key horror movie just rule is you don't reveal the monster in the trailer. I think they did a really good job with that. So I'm just super, super intrigued and excited to see what this movie does. It kind of reminds me of Nope. Nope. Just because of the horror elements, we didn't really see we didn't really see what the, I guess you can say, villain looked like in the trailer, I don't believe. And this reminds me a lot of that. So I'm really excited to see what these vampires look like. I have no idea if it's like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, if it's more like traditional. Maybe it's something new. Who knows? But really, really cool idea. It kind of takes place, it seems like, almost 100 years ago in an old town. So yeah, Sinners is number 6. Number 5, Black Bag. Another movie going under the radar, in my opinion, starring Michael Fassbender, directed by Steven Soderbergh. It seems a little bit Mr. and Mrs. Smith-esque, but seems like a really, really cool, I guess, spy European action thriller movie. I don't really want to look too much into it. I just saw the trailer and I knew this was a movie I instantly wanted to see. Just the type of movie that it seems like they rarely make anymore. That's kind of actiony but also serious. A lot of times these movies either become too IP heavy or they go into Netflix streaming service and they just become not serious at all and just totally off the rails. This seems to be like the rare, well-made thriller action movie that we only get at most a couple times a year now it seems. So I'm super excited for this. I like Michael Fassbender a lot. His character seems really cool. So go check out the trailer if you haven't seen it yet. Black Bag, number 4, the Thunderbolts, another MCU movie. I give it the edge over Captain America 4. I'm just interested to see how these characters interact. I think it's a good mix of characters. Another movie that's going under the radar that's not getting a lot of hype. I thought people would be more excited about this movie. I think it's cemented by good characters. I'm excited to see who the villain of this movie is and how they do it. A movie that I think is very important, that I think will be directly tied into Captain America 4. Hopefully, I'm assuming it's the Thunderbolts. Thunderbolt Ross is the Red Hulk in Captain America 4, which comes out first. I believe this is in the May slot, in the summer. But yeah, we're going to get Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Ghost, Red Guardian, Taskmaster, hopefully an improved Taskmaster, but we'll see. But yeah, just we haven't really got one of these team up movies in a while. If not, I don't want to say if not ever, but we don't really get these team up movies. It seems like the new DCU is going to be doing that more. But yeah, just a good opportunity. A lot of people are saying like Suicide Squad-esque, but it doesn't seem like that vibe at all. It just seems like, yes, villains, but not, kind of more anti-hero-y, more MCU molded, not really, definitely not Suicide Squad-esque, but we'll see about this movie. I'm still very excited. So Thunderbolts is my number 4, most anticipated of 2025. Coming in at number 3, Jurassic World Rebirth. It seems like a new reboot. I don't know if it's a continuation. I think it's a reboot, maybe a little bit of both, but I'm super excited for this movie. I love the Jurassic movies. Even though I don't think we've really gotten a good one since the original one. I think Jurassic World 1 with Chris Pratt was pretty good. But I don't think we've gotten like a really good one since the original. And that was all the way back in 93. So it's been a long time. But what really excites me about this movie is the director, Gareth Edwards, who directed Rogue One, who directed Godzilla. And this guy, the most important thing, not to sound like a film snob, but the best thing that he does is the scaling. He made Godzilla and the Death Star in those movies look so big and intimidating. And that's such an important thing to do when you're making a dinosaur movie. It's probably the most important thing. So I think they got the perfect director to make this movie. Has Scarlett Johansson as Mahershala Ali. A good pivot for Mahershala Ali, who was struggling to get the Blade movie made. So he'll be in this movie. This movie will probably make $1 billion, so that'll be good for him. But yeah, I think like they just don't seem to know how to make a really good plot with a dinosaur movie. It seems like every time they make this movie, the plots are a little bit different, but it just seems to be them on the run. Which, yeah, that'll happen, but there has to just be something more, a little bit more. So hopefully they developed a good plot for this movie, and we'll get some things we haven't seen before. Number 2, Fantastic Four: First Steps, the third MCU movie in my rankings. But there's no doubt about it, this movie is the most important. One of the most anticipated movies of the year. You can argue number 1. The third, and what I think the final installment of the Fantastic Four movies. Of course, we got the original 2, which were okay. Then we got the really, really bad reboot with Miles Teller. And now we're getting the first iteration in the MCU. We've been waiting for this for nearly 20 years. Since the beginning of the MCU. We thought maybe we got with John Krasinski, but that was just a cameo. And so we're getting Pedro Pascal. We're getting Eben Moss-Backrack from The Bear. We're getting... I forgot the guy's name, Eddie from Stranger Things, who's also in Gladiator 2. But we're getting a new cast. And like I said for Captain America 4, good or bad, either way, that's what makes this, so high on my list. Because we don't really know, if this is really, really bad, huge ramifications for the MCU. If this is really, really good, also huge ramifications for the MCU. They really need Pedro Pascal to land. They need Reed Richards. They really, really need just like another core member of the Avengers. And if this lands, it'll give them not only one core member, it'll give them like one core member plus 3 side characters in an entirely new franchise. As the Guardians kind of flames out, not to use a Johnny Storm pun, but as he kind of flames out, as the Guardians flame out, they're going to need a new team. So they really, really need this to be good. I'm super excited for it. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be more comic accurate. But ultimately, we'll see. Coming in at number 1, no surprise here, Superman, my most anticipated movie, not only of this year, of last year, of who knows, of probably the entire decade. I haven't been as excited for a movie, I'd say easily since Endgame. Spider-Man No Way Home I was excited for, but not like this. Not only Superman, but the start of the DCU, just getting an entirely new take on it. I think it has, not only am I most excited for this movie, but on top of it, I think it is by far the most important movie. Even if you're not into Superman, you cannot deny it's the most important movie of the year from so many different angles. Like I said, the start of a new franchise. It's going to dictate if Warner Brothers how much they really want to pour into the new DCU. If it doesn't go well financially, are they going to sell DC maybe to a studio like Amazon, maybe to a studio like Apple? Who knows? If it is successful, what does that mean for Batman? What does it mean for Pattinson? Are we getting a new Batman? What if the movie is good, but some of the character performances aren't good? Like the side characters, like Green Lantern, like Hawkgirl. So there's so many different things that could happen. If one of those characters is really, really beloved, maybe they'll get their own spin-off show on Max. So there's a million things riding on this movie. I think it'll really, really be the event of the year. The fact that it comes out right after July 4th weekend. I think the movie dates a little bit conflict a lot with Jurassic Park and with Fantastic Four, and I'll do a separate video on that. But there's no doubt about it. This movie is number 1. I think this movie should be number 1 for anyone. Even if you're not a comic book person, I just think this will be such a good movie. I don't want to go in crazy as to say it could be Academy Award nominated, because I think it won't be. It'll probably be a little bit too goofy and zany for that. But just in terms of cultural relevance, I think this will be the event movie of next year, even above Fantastic Four, which is why I'm putting it above it on my list. So that is my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2025. I know it's a little bit popcorny, not the most, Oscar-nominated movies probably, but this is my honest list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching, and as always,